Welcome to the Real View podcast, where Ohio Realtors connect you to innovators and influencers, keeping you with the real view of real estate. Whether you're a broker, agent, first-time homebuyer, industry leader, or just happen to stumble upon our podcast today, you can expect to hear tips, tools, tricks, interesting information, and so much more from the experts in Ohio's real estate game. Everyone, and welcome back to the Real View podcast. I am your host, Allison Wiley, and welcome back to our summer series where we are featuring our convention speakers so you can learn a little bit more about them, about what they're going to be talking about when they join us at convention, and really get to prepare yourself for all of the good stuff that we have coming up in Cleveland. So I would like to welcome on today's special guest, Marki Lemons-Ryhal. She is Chief Artificial Intelligence Officer at Marki Table LLC. She is a certified speaker, realtor, artificial intelligence powerhouse, all things amazing, no stranger to our realtor family. As a certified speaking professional, CSP, the highest earned designation from the National Speakers Association, she is recognized globally for her dynamic delivery, insightful content, and unmatched energy on stage. She is one of only 100 speakers selected from over 1,300 applicants to present at the Realtor Conference and Expo, an extraordinary 12 times, both in person and virtually, earning top-tier evaluations every time. She was also a featured closing keynote speaker for Inman, the leading real estate news and innovation source. A licensed managing broker and realtor, she is deeply committed to advocacy and leadership in the real estate industry. She is an avid volunteer, MI, President's Circle member, federal political coordinator, and a published thought leader, having authored 30 books and achieved 6 international bestsellers. Welcome on to the show today. We're so happy to have you.
Allison, thank you for having me. It's a hot summer in these real estate streets. Artificial intelligence has us on fire, and I cannot wait to come to Cleveland. I actually attended Central State University down in Wilberforce, Ohio. So I have friends all over the great state of Ohio. So I'm glad to come back to where my college days started.
Well, I love that. And I love that you're going to be joining us for what's going to be an amazing couple days in Cleveland. And as you mentioned, AI, right? So that's what you're going to be speaking with us about, 13 ways to use AI and ChatGPT in real estate, which, as you mentioned, I mean, wow, that has come at our industry so hot, so fast, and it's just making a huge splash. So I'm really excited that you're focusing on this topic. And I know it's something that our members are going to love hearing about. But before we get into that and what you've got planned for us, I would love to hear a little bit more about yourself. For those who don't know you, who may be new to the realtor world, tell us a little bit about you, how you got started in real estate and what's led you to where you are today.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm going to start with I am the mother of Skylar Lemons, one of NAR's 2025 30 under 30.
Amazing.
I believe, yes, thank you. I believe in legacy. My family has been in business here in the Chicagoland area for 71 years. My grandparents and my uncles, they built $100 million barbecue business. We've sold more pork rib tips than anyone else in the city of Chicago. Have a street named after my grandfather, who's been inducted into the Barbecue Hall of Fame, and recently received the James Beard Award in the classic category. And the reason I have to say that is because I am a proud Chicago fifth generation entrepreneur who birthed the sixth generation entrepreneur. And I believe in the power of ownership, whether that is your business and or your home. And so I've been self-employed since the tender age of 10. And I brought that mindset to real estate in 1999. I started off as a loan originator, then became a top producing agent. I was in the top 10% of realtors here in the Chicagoland area. And in 2006, my mentor said, "Hey, baby Dow," Frank Williams, he's a NAR Fair Housing champion. He said, "Hey, baby Dow, people never forget the name of the person standing at the front of the room. I believe that you should become a licensed continuing education instructor and pre-licensed instructor." And I did exactly what my mentor told me. But what was kind of crazy is I had already had the opportunity to work for Chicago Public Schools while in grad school and had started teaching on a collegiate level at the age of 25 once I earned my master's degree. And so I was just going back to my roots, right? Entrepreneurship and education. And over the past 20 years, I've built a successful education company working with real estate associations, banks, title companies, multiple listing services. And if I had to sum it up, I've always focused on innovation in the real estate space, whether that was foreclosures and short sales. I had the ADPR, the Accredited Distressed Property Representative designation. And when it came to videos, and I can tell you I have more video content than any of my competitors here in the city of Chicago. And if we come now to AI, I'm an early adapter. I'm among the first 2 million people out of 180 million people who leverage ChatGPT for business.
I love that. And all of that makes you the perfect person to be talking about this, at convention. And I love your innovation lens and what makes your session, I'm sure going to be so amazing is that you really do have, such a unique perspective on it. And as you mentioned, you've been adapting it and using it yourself. And I
Yes.
love when people can talk directly from their own experiences. And you've been able to learn it, to understand it, to adapt it, way in the beginning. And you're going to be able to kind of speak from your own perspective and your own experience with it to help these realtors know what the heck to do with it. Because I know there's a lot of them who's like, I don't even know where to begin.
And you know what? I like to cut through the nonsense. Most people say I'm a direct shooter, and that I don't consider myself to be motivational, but I'm inspirational. And I think because I am the typical realtor, I'll be 55 by the time you see me, but I'm 54 at the time of this recording. I'm married with 2 children. I wasn't born and or raised with technology. I am the average realtor. We are a female dominated industry where that number one age is going to toggle between 50 and 55. But one thing that I haven't never done, I've never taught theory. I only teach about what it is that I actively use in my business. And the reason is I absolutely detest when people tell us to use a tool they've never personally used themselves. Therefore, everything I talk about, I use it every single day. And the results of that is I saw a 261% increase in my productivity that led to a 283% increase in my income. And the best way to sum that up is my household is in the top 1% of wage earners in the world. That's the increases that we've seen as a result, but it enabled me to help my children to be better in the things in which they desire to be better at. And so it's freed up my time, made me more money, and I'm more accessible as a mom, even though I spend 100 nights a year on the road, but I'm clear what their goals are. And I get to take AI with me on every device that I own to be able to help them with an email campaign or to be able to help them with a letter of recommendation. Because a lot of recommendations you get, the person wants you to write the letter of recommendation, right? So
Yep.
I'm able to write the letter and send it back to them, right? Proofed, grammarly checked, no plagiarism, on everything. And I believe that everything that we need to be successful already exists. When I'm talking about AI, I'm also taking in consideration the fact that we now need to have a signed buyer representation agreement. And I would encourage every licensed person with an offer of compensation. So when I talk about my son Skylar, he's an ABR and a SRS. And he's 29 now. He gets a signed buyer representation agreement with an offer of compensation, and he's had 4 closings in the past 10 days, right? That's because he's leveraging artificial intelligence for the top of funnel work. And he is very niched. And I believe that there is riches in niches. And we're going to bring all that. Now, let me tell you what's going to be a little different, though. And
Tell
this is why we call this class 13 productivity tools. And we didn't specify which of these tools we were going to use.
it.
And that's because when we did our contract for your conference, some of these tools didn't exist. The perfection of text on photos and chat GPT was not perfected when I signed the contract. The video, the VEO, 3 that just rolled out in the past month didn't even exist. I mean, these videos are freaking fabulous. And so I'm going to bring to Ohio realtors the top tools at that time. Also, I will have completed my certificate program at the University of Missouri on AI automation. So I'm going to bring in ChatGPT projects and ChatGPT tasks because some of these items can be automated. I now wake up every morning with 2 hours of my work performed for me because ChatGPT worked the night shift and
Mm-hmm.
has it waiting for me every single morning. So we're going to bring the best in class on that day.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. And delivering that message, anytime we get you in the room and, I mentioned a little bit in your bio just how accomplished you are and how sought after, you are at these conventions and expos. And, I've come to many of your classes at NER and you're
Thank you.
always a joy to listen to, always extremely engaging and entertaining up on that stage. And I think, that's why Ohio wanted to bring you here is because you are delivering such relevant and useful information, but you're also making it fun. And you're
Yeah.
such an amazing presenter that I know your room is gonna be packed. And why I'm excited to feature you and why we can't wait to have you in Cleveland. And I love what you said about how fast this is moving, right? And like I was at a conference a couple weeks ago and they said the people who are working on AI are crazy and mind blown about how fast that AI is moving. And these are people who are actively developing it. So, what would you say to someone who's, scared of AI or doesn't know what to make sense of it or, is kind of apprehensive to start using it? What would you say to those people who haven't yet adopted it or are a little fearful about it?
Let me say, I'm actually sad. And the reason I'm sad is because every Fortune 500 company has implemented AI. So everyone is using AI. The question is, are you being intentional?
Mm-hmm.
Period. And I hear the fear in people's voices, right? And I'm at the point now that it feel like it was preaching to the choir. Only thing that I can do, and well, people are worried about fraud. Well, fraud was an issue before AI. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
what I need us to stop doing is clicking on all the freaking links in an email. Let's stop doing that. Okay,
Please.
because that's the biggest fraud issue.
Yeah.
So when I get emails from my bank or from anybody, if there's an online portal, I don't need to click on the link.
Yeah.
I need to go over to their URL and log into my account.
Yeah.
So if we could stop doing that, but what I would say is that a lot of people are fearful of artificial intelligence replacing them. But how do you know what's being replaced if you don't know how to use it? I can tell you those who don't leverage it will work harder longer. And when people are making investments in businesses, they want efficiency. No one is making an investment or long term strategy is to go slow for a long time, right? It's not like a pot of greens. The longer I simmer it at the low rate, the better it's going to taste. This is not that, okay?
Yeah.
And so we as entrepreneurs have to embrace innovation or we put ourselves in the predicament that we will never be financially eligible to be
Yeah.
able to retire. And that is what we see a lot in the world of real estate. When I came into real estate, I had a date in mind on which I would be financially eligible to retire.
Mhm.
I will tell you, I'm going to outperform that number because of my willingness to embrace artificial intelligence in its beginnings. The federal government has not really come out with any clear rules or regulations, and we're 30 months in.
Yep.
I was listening to one of the owners of a sports team, and he said the ship has sailed, right? Like you can't go back and rein us in
Yeah.
now. So because you're using it and you don't know you're using it, what I want to ask real estate professionals is to become intentional about your use and intentional about your business. I'm not the speaker who's getting ready to come and try to force feed it. All I'm going to do is show you the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I'm going to just show you the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And as they say, the numbers don't lie. And last year we had the opportunity to go from Hollywood to the White House.
Mhm.
Now, and I'm talking about all real estate professionals, but last year, because of AI, we have
Yep.
AI innovation. We went to Hollywood to the White House
Mhm.
because of AI. So it's infused in everything that everyone is doing. And I hate for people to make money off of us. And we don't make money off of the tools. And some of these tools are still free. So I want us to embrace free tools in order to increase our productivity, lead generation, and income.
And this is all good stuff. You know what I mean? Like this is also positive for our business. It's only going to make us stronger. And also, when you think about AI, it's almost I saw something that was presented. It was presented in this way, which I think just makes so much sense. And when we're trying to wrap our heads around the concept of AI, you almost have to think of it like in a way of digital transformation. So in the same way that we got electricity, in the same way that we got the internet, this is the next generation of information and data is going to be AI. And one day we are going to use it as much as we're using the internet and as much as we use electricity. And when you think about it like that, it's like, you got to adapt it. And look how much better it's going to make your life, right?
Most definitely. But this is what most people don't think about, whether they're in our industry or not, which is really driving me right now.
Yeah.
Because of AI, we have the ability to repurpose one piece of content for the visually and the audio impaired.
Mhm.
Those are two new niches that we can go into. When you start looking at the largest cities in the state of Ohio, I can almost bet you Spanish is growing as the second most spoken language, and in 10 years, it might be the most spoken language. We
Mhm.
now have the ability to translate. And no one is talking about the fact that we can repurpose the content for the neurodivergent learner. A lot of
Mhm.
realtors are neurodivergent learners, ADHD, dyslexia. I just put those right at the top. But think about the buying and selling public and how many people have dyslexia, how many people have a diagnosis. It could be ADHD or another one. They could be on the spectrum, right? This now allows us to repurpose one piece of content into all these different forms of content to serve a broader audience.
Mhm.
And that right there is priceless.
Mhm. Mhm. That right there is in itself why you want to be using it. I mean, to be able to reach that many people in the way that they want to be reached. I mean, just and how easy it is. As you mentioned, I mean, this happens in, a click of a few buttons, right? I mean, it's yeah, it's taking no
He-
time.
Here's what's crazy. I'm going to give everybody a productivity hack. Everyone talks faster than they type, text, or write. I do audio input. So I don't even have to tap, right? I'm doing audio input because through audio input, I'm giving it more information faster. And through audio, you tend to include more details.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you don't have to swipe. You don't have to type it in. You need the ability to talk, not like a PhD at a sixth grade level.
Yeah. And think of like how easy it is to talk and do stuff at the same time. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I can talk and clean the dishes at the same time. I can talk and, do my gardening, like you're gardening outside and talking and creating videos. I mean, the amount of multitasking too that I think this could help accomplish, like it's crazy. And the other thing about about AI, chat, GPT that's also insane to think about is that this is the worst it's ever going to be. Like
Today.
it is only going to get better
Better.
and more capabilities, and the more it's learning. I mean, we mentioned, that people working on AI are blown away about how fast it's learning and it's moving. I mean, we're just at the infancy stages. Like imagine where this is going to be. Like you said, what did this chat GPT launch what last year, like 2 years ago? It has not been that long.
November the 30th, 2022. So it's
Yeah.
about 30, a little bit over 30 months at this point. Yep.
And look at what it's already been able to accomplish.
Mind blowing. And
It is.
as we're recording, I put on my meta glasses because the reason I put my meta glasses on, when you talk about multitasking, my meta glasses takes photos, takes videos, allows me to translate. It talks to me. It plays recordings, and so I wear glasses that allow me to multitask and do numerous other things while doing something else.
Yes. It's if you're not using it, that the time saving in itself, what more reason do you need? You know what I mean to get on this. So it's a fascinating topic. It's so relevant. It's so important. It's the cutting edge of what our members need to be thinking about as they enter in to another year plus of real estate. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an awesome session. You always bring it, so it's going to be incredible. And you've gone to so many of these conventions, right? What's your favorite thing about attending realtor conventions? Coming to Ohio, I know you mentioned you went to school here. What do you love about conventions and coming to be with your Ohio family?
Well, what I love about conventions is the ability to network face to face. And so I think some people I was a social butterfly before social media. So the ability belly to belly, face to face, right? But that's another reason for using AI that we could do the top of funnel and create more time to be belly to belly, face to face. What I'm looking forward to coming to Ohio, you have some of my favorite people in your state. So just coming back to the great state of Ohio, where I have so many fond memories. I've been to Cleveland. When I was in college, we called it the Nasty Natty, but going down to Cincinnati, my
Yeah.
roommate was from Columbus. And so I've had the opportunity, I've been to Toledo. So I've had the opportunity to travel up and down your great state, just coming back to see familiar faces and to share what is going to be the latest and greatest on the day of the event.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. We always love having you with us. And your session is Tuesday, September 16th, 9 to 10:30 in the morning. So make sure to circle that on your guys' calendar. It's for CE, which is great. We all always love our CE. And yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, it's such a great opportunity to meet with people face to face. And you're right. When people say, is AI going to replace our jobs, right? No, it's going to allow us to have that human interaction, to be belly to belly, to be face to face, to work on those relationships and building those relationships while at the same time knowing that our business is running, with as much technology and taking advantage of that as we can. So I think that's so important to know and so exciting when you think about what the future of this could look like. Any bits of advice or what you would say to our new realtors, our returning realtors who are coming to the convention, who are planning to come to your session, what would you say to them?
Bring your device charged.
Yes.
When you enter my room, we in a no excuse zone. I've seen it all. And what I will tell you is everyone who has implemented these tools have seen a drastic increase in income and creating new freedom they never knew they could have.
So exciting. As we said before, this is all positive stuff. There's really no negatives, I think, to using this tool.
I mean, it's on the internet, right? And so it's
Yeah.
all things on the internet. So every problem that comes with using the internet before AI still exists, right? And so definitely some people might have issues around the copyright. But here's the thing that surprises me about the rules and regulations.
Mhm.
We already had to adhere to license rules and regulations, the Realtors Code of Ethics, fair housing rules and regulations. If you keep the most stringent of those rules, first and foremost, you shall be okay. It is when we start saying but and or if. You still need to be licensed to
Yeah.
sell real estate, right? And so adhering to real estate license law, the Realtors Code of Ethics and Fair Housing is still important. AI has not erased those rules and regulations.
Mm-mm.
Adhere to the rules that you were adhering to in the first place, and you should be okay. But always look out. There's threats, there are deep fake voices, deep fake video. I'm gonna tell you, these deep fake videos are going to not. I set up last night. I think I told you I'm in school getting a
Mhm.
certificate in AI automation, but I also wanted to perfect my image likeness. I did that last night. I
Mhm.
could fool anybody, including my husband, with these images. So you have to be very careful when it comes to voices and faces, as it might not be who you think it is.
No, that is true. That is true. There is stuff you need to be aware of that you should be taking into consideration when you use this. But once again, as you mentioned, if you're following the rules and regulations that are set in place, if you're doing a good job, if you're coming at it from the right place and they're using the right practices of it, which you mentioned you're going to walk through with us, how to use it in the right way, then it's really going to be a positive thing and just be such a huge boost to your job, to your what you're doing every day, and making you a stronger realtor. And I think that's all, what we want to do. So it's going to be awesome, going to be exciting. We're looking forward to it. As I mentioned, Tuesday, September 16th, 9 to 10:30 at the Hilton Hotel in Cleveland. We can't wait to see you there. And Marki, we can't wait to have you back in Ohio.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, we will see you so soon. So, Realtors, if you guys are listening, make sure you register now for convention, ohiorealtors.org/convention. You can see the full schedule of events. You make sure to circle Marki's session. It's going to be amazing. Learn how to use AI to the best of your ability. And we will see you soon in Cleveland. Marki, thanks again for joining me. And thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Real View. That wraps up today's episode. You can keep up with the latest on the podcast at ohiorealtors.org/therealview and on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Have questions, comments, or suggestions? We want to hear from you. Email us at podcast@ohiorealtors.org. We'll see you next time.